Hey everyone, welcome back to Market Mama's channel. For those of you who don't know us that are here for the first time, my name's Kendra and I have Becky here with me, and we're day traders. We have been day trading for a little over 3 years, and it was very cool. We found each other in our very first trading educational course, and ever since then we've just been thick as thieves and growing and evolving. And about a year ago, we started coming up with the idea to create a podcast and just really create a community because we wanted to just shed light on the difficulty of becoming day traders, specifically, in the realm of the psychology and just all the hardships and the daily struggle we've faced and continue to. And so that's why we're here, and very happy to be bringing you all content every week. We put out a new episode about every 4 days, and we're just always looking for others to collaborate with and to, share along this journey with us. So today, one of the things we found that helped us a lot, of course, was resources like books, specifically a lot of, self-development, psychology books and trading books too. But this one in particular, Becky and I were just super excited to do a must read on with you all because it's really been influencing us and so many individuals to just really expand their realm of possibility and lives for decades now. For anyone who's hungry for more out of life, a bigger identity, and just to build their legacy, we really recommend this book. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. And we're going to share it with y'all today.
Yes, this book is definitely timeless. So it was actually first published in 1959, but it is incredible how profound nearly all of these points are, even to this current year and to the lives of Kendra and I. So the topics and perspectives within this book are so powerful now, just as much as ever, in the sense of changing your person to truly believe and work relentlessly towards your power pursuit. That sounds exactly like what we want to do. In this best-selling masterpiece, Schwartz proves that you don't need superhuman talent to achieve all of your biggest goals, but you do need to understand the habit of thinking and behaving in ways that will get lasting success. The easy stories and anecdotes in this book put you on the road to changing the way you think, helping you work more effectively, manage smarter, earn more financial success, achieve your biggest goals, and most importantly, live a fuller, happier, and holistic life. This book is truly a well-written guide to whole life success and limitless possibilities. It's a classic in the realm for a reason, and we can't wait to share with you some of our favorite gems from it.
Yes, this book is truly timeless. And shout out to Steve Harvey that recommended it. And he uses the lessons from Magic of Thinking Big in his own audience that he influences. We're big fans of his, by the way. So let's get into some of the parallels that we've drew in regards to fear from this book. We found them very applicable to our trading journeys as well. So one of the killer quotes about fear is, "Action cures fear. Indecision and postponement fertilizes fear." Goodness, this makes so much sense in general for life, but specifically with taking the leap into trading. A path as bold as becoming a day trader is quite audacious for most, and maybe especially for us mamas. However, I'm just forever grateful that Becky and I, we just went all in when we decided to learn to trade, and we have not let up since. Our consistent day-to-day actions, studying and trading the markets, it makes it a normal for us now, but just over 3 years ago, neither of us had any idea what was going to be in store. So it really just reminds me also of our first Market Mamas episode, how to just start. Choosing that deliberate action has continued to show us that, we can and we will conquer all the things we set our minds to. We have gotten better at facing our fears head on and leaning into the uncertainties and risks that are woven into this game that we love so much. And we're just busy, each day, with all the tasks, designing our lives on our own terms and just taking action, even on the struggle days when we don't feel like it. Because it's just, we've decided that we're worthy of the work that it takes to bring about the successes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's well said, because that is literally the journey to this point. And I cannot agree more. So this section in the book regarding luck was particularly powerful for me. So because it is such a common behavior for a lot of people who, when you see someone who has everything, it happens that people just label that person as having a lucky break and that they landed with so much success. But I have grown to understand that that's very rarely how people with serious success got to where they are in life. A quote on that in this book reads, "Accept the law of cause and effect. Take a second look at what appears to be someone's good luck. You'll find that not luck, but preparation, planning, and success producing thinking preceded his good fortune." This resonates so much with me on my day trading journey. Like, I know that I am a successful day trader and there's no ceiling on how far I intend to take it. But I also know that that is because of countless hours of studying and practicing, dialoguing and reflecting and working relentlessly. That is my how of the success that I'm building, is 0% luck involved.
Right. We've definitely matured enough in our trading to know that luck is not a winning strategy. I mean, there's still days, right? Sometimes where we do back ourselves into a corner and come out alive and we feel lucky, but they're not as common anymore for sure. We have become way more purposeful in our processes, and it's been incredible to experience that growth in ourselves and bear witness to one another. So we're shaping and we're strengthening our foundations while striving to get 1% better, through each trading session. Another thing Schwartz says about having a fear is about what other people might think and say. So this next quote is really awesome. And it goes, "Make sure that what you plan to do is right, then do it. No one ever does anything worthwhile for which he is not criticized." This. Okay. I love it. And it's so true. And I really believe that what's for me is for me. It's not meant for other people to understand or even respect, for that matter. I've kind of embraced the fact that most people have no clue what I do, how or why I'm doing it. I kind of like that aspect, because if they did, I'd be doing what everyone else is doing. And as day traders, we're doing some tough ass shit. And we're exposing ourselves to conditions that are just not part of a typical person's lifestyle. And so I'm not going to lie, I love that. And it's extremely taxing at times, yes, but I know it is the right plan for me and my life, and I'm just going to do it regardless.
Right. It's kind of a fun aspect of day trading that we don't really talk about all that much, but you really are kind of a lone wolf in a lot of areas. So, so true. When I heard this author talk about the influence of what we give our thoughts to and how that impacts our lives and outcomes, that really rings so true for me, and in correlation with what many of the great thinkers also say. This is a common thread woven throughout all of this world. And this author, Schwartz, he advises readers to really cultivate a positive memory bank. The reasons you are glad to be alive and all the wonderful things that happen in your life. That's where we should be placing our energy and our thoughts and holding on to those images. Regarding the inverse of that, he states, "It is clear that any negative thought, if fertilized with repeated recall, can develop into a real mind monster, breaking down confidence and paving the way to serious psychological difficulties." And then also he says, "You take a big step forward toward conquering fear when you refuse to remember negative self-deprecating thoughts." So I really like these points and have reframed my mindset a lot in the past few years to shift away from holding on to the negative and to prioritize the positive and helpful thoughts, and really just quiet the negative and worried concerns that I could and really previously have perseverated on and just gotten stuck in. I really loved how he emphasized focusing on your goals and the you that you are creating and growing into, instead of anything less than that or in your past. This is a growth mindset attitude, and it makes so much sense. And it's really actually very powerful when you embrace it.
Right. It totally is. And it really just fits in with the next really good quote from the book. That is, "When you believe something is impossible, your mind goes to work for you to prove why. But when you really believe something can be done, your mind goes to work for you and helps you find ways to do it." This is a total manifestation of where your awareness goes, your energy flows. And it's just an awesome example of one of the major teachings from this book, which centers around the fact that it requires the same amount of energy to think big as it does to think small. And some may be familiar with the phrase, "A man is as he thinketh." And if you've ever been around a person who thinks very little of themselves, there's usually clear physical evidence of that. I see it all the time when someone discounts an opportunity or dismisses an idea, and they're just so quick to pull up a list of every reason why it can't be done or potential problems that may occur. But the truth is, choosing fear or faith both require you to believe in something that's unknown. So why not choose to think in terms of what is possible and best case scenarios? Furthermore, he says the successful person doesn't ask, can I do it better? He knows he can. So he phrases the question, how can I do it better? I really like this so much because it's an action-based thought. It puts you in the driver's seat and takes ownership and accountability. It's the opposite of being a victim, and instead it illuminates a path to be victorious. It's another example that correlates very well with our trading, because we certainly know we can always do better on any given day because there is no limit or ceiling to what we can achieve. Being humble to admit when we're falling short and then hungry enough to get after that improvement, it's how we do continue to level up and rise.
For me, the core of this book is really about this next section. So let me read it to you. You are what you think you are, what your thought power directs you to become. Think you're weak, think you lack what it takes, think you will lose, think you are second class. Think this way, and you are doomed to mediocrity. But think instead, I am important. I do have what it takes. I am a first-class performer. My work is important. Think this way, and you're headed straight for success. The key to winning what you want lies in thinking positively about yourself. The only real basis other people have for judging your abilities is your actions, and your actions are controlled by your thoughts. So you are what you think you are. Okay, I had to put that whole bit in there because it sums it up really pretty well, right? If I truly believe in myself and I want the grand life of impact, travel, security for generations to come, and so much more, then it is up to me to build it. Humans really are capable of everything. And there are human examples in this world that are incredible, that prove this is true. There's countless examples that we could think about in history and alive today. So why not me? Why not us? Why not you? I do think I must choose faith in myself and be ceaseless in my pursuit of that life to make it a reality, though. And Schwartz really placed a lot of emphasis in this book on mastering your thoughts around your success aspirations for that true potential to happen for you. So, I mean, okay, let's go. I'm all in.
Right. It's so true. I mean, no one's ever going to believe in anything more than us. We have to be our number one fan. And this really leads great into this next part. It's an exercise that the book has you do. And both Becky and I did it our first time around reading it. And I just love it. It is to build your own sell yourself to yourself commercial. And it's just as it sounds. You state your best qualities in your own words and talk to yourself directly in it. After you've written it, you can practice it out loud. You can do it in private. You can do it in front of a mirror. But it has to be with full belief and enthusiasm. And do it at least once a day. You can also have it written or record it on maybe your app on your phone, and then read it, listen to it, especially when it's time to perform. And so let me just state the obvious. This might feel very weird to do, right? Because it's kind of like tooting your own horn, being full of yourself, but that's exactly the point. It's crazy that we celebrate others so easily and we buy into so much that's outside of us, but it's so important to recognize that you are the prize. I'm the prize. I'm overflowing with value, and I have to love on myself and honor the queen I am first and foremost. So it really, truly is empowering. And whatever your spiritual beliefs are about your creator, it also honors that as well. Doing this is just an all around win. And I would say, especially in a very hard trading pursuit such as day trading, you have to sell yourself to yourself every day to really support, the wonderful being that is realizing and actualizing all of our biggest dreams every day. So this other part is also a favorite of mine. The mind reflects what its environment feeds it, just as surely as the body reflects the food you feed it. So we all deserve to eat and eat well. So mind and body, let's do it.
Yes. I actually recently re-listened to my commercial of myself when I was preparing for this episode, and it was so powerful. It was kind of fun. I think it was more so powerful re-listening to my own like a year later because it was so personalized and customized to my specific goals and traits. So that's what's cool about this exercise of writing it for yourself. It's in your own language, it's in whatever pursuit you're going for, and it's the goals that you really fit for you. So it's so easy to do, you guys. It's so easy, and then use it throughout the day. So it's maybe it sounds a little cheesy, but it's actually like kind of powerful. So think about it. Okay, this next part I really loved. It's all about thought poison. So, what about poisons in our day to day life to compare it to? You don't eat expired food or use products with known carcinogens, right? We don't want to get sick. So, then why do nearly all of us consume negative thought poison? Namely, gossip, negativity, whining, or comparisons. That's garbage, and we know it. It is so much better to cut all of that out of our daily exposure, or at least keep it nicely trimmed to keep your minds in a healthier, balanced state. I love how he describes it when he says we can go first class with your thinking if you want a first class life. Yes, please. I'll take everything at a first class rate. That sounds great. And especially my conversations and the noise that gets my space in a given day. And the inverse of that is also very true. What we give to the world should also be of a healthy and productive variety if we really want that world around us. He says a couple times in the book, broadcast good news. This contribution, it makes you and everyone around you feel better and more positive and motivated. But of course, we're human. So if at times we encounter a challenge or a hardship and need to vent, like that's going to happen. When I have a really rough trading morning and I know that I succumbed to some demons, like I'm going to feel some kind of way. But I don't have to live there is the moral of that. Like you can have human moments here and there, but choose to overall move beyond that. Most of the time, there's no good reason to put so much energy into the downside of things. And it very rarely serves a purpose. So let's all broadcast good news today.
Yes, I love that so much. Let's keep that positive energy at the forefront, every day, every relationship for sure. And also, this next great point from the author is how you think when you lose determines how long it will be until you win. This is so true, you guys. And with trading, this has been an area of growth for Becky and I for sure. It took some time and maturity to see a negative P&L and not ruminate on it and accept it and let it be a lesson day. Turn it around, to not blame or hate in those moments, but to build from them and just to own our outcomes with humility, to accept and study the lesson instead of hide and hate it. We can't hate the losses because that's the game we're in. So not only does this make our journeys a little less stressed and heavy, but it also saves space for joy and it expands our love for the game. So this intentional effort, it just also injects even more faith in the confidence of our abilities as day traders. Schwartz similarly says, when our attitude is right, our abilities reach a maximum of effectiveness and good results inevitably follow. So both of these really make me think of the recent interview we had with Chris from the Funded Society. Watch that if you haven't already. It's incredible. And he really talks about resiliency. And he said something along the lines of, just because you're going through a losing streak cannot mean now you're not confident, because you'll see your setup. But if you've lost the past setups, now you don't want to take that setup. You're hesitating. And that's just where discipline has to come from, that you have to do whatever it takes, whether you feel like it or not. And that was like a major aha moment for me, because I feel like too often we really correlate discipline with not doing something. And in trading, many times it's actually, action that we need to take, things we need to do in order to honor our trading edge and have it be the most effective for us to get the results we desire.
Yes, exactly. Is it right then to just only ever see the rainbow and deny the rain that preceded it? Is that what we're saying? No, that's not what the author says at all. He's really like realistic to everything. In fact, he wrote, being self critical is constructive. It helps you to build the personal strength and efficiency needed for success. Blaming others is destructive. You gain absolutely nothing from proving that someone else is wrong. Be constructively self critical. Don't run away from inadequacies. Be like the real professionals. They seek out their faults and weaknesses and then they correct them. That's what makes them professionals. So, this is crazy true in pursuing success as a day trader, you guys. Miss Market is guaranteed to humble us on many, many occasions in our early years. We will be shown how we are wrong in any number of ways. But the key, I believe, is not to berate yourself over losing, but to use it. Study every failed trade just as much as the winners and use it to become your best self. In order to be exceptional at anything, you have to learn the ins and outs of every aspect of it. So this means failing and then utilizing all of your resources and figuring out how to fail a bit less the next time. It's the fine tuning of a skill that it never happens overnight. It just takes a lot of time tinkering. But practice self-love and appreciation for the dynamic turbulence of this journey and the awesome views along the ride. It's a much more wholly beneficial approach. And it's the one that Kendra and I are really starting to get pretty good at ourselves and really see the value in this approach.
For sure. It's absolutely been a really important part of our growth as traders. And the next section of this book was also very applicable to trading as well. Check this part out. A good idea, if not acted upon, produces terrible psychological pain. But a good idea acted upon brings enormous mental satisfaction. Got a good idea? Then do something about it. Personally, ideas have always brought me a lot of excitement. I've always had a curious and innovative mind, so I really like this quote a lot. And especially in trading, I love that trading gives us that fresh opportunity every day to exercise this ability to think up good ideas about the potential opportunities the market will offer. I believe approaching each of our trading mornings with this attitude, it does bring about that great mental satisfaction. And especially when we can then align our actions with our intentions and our trades and our executions, and it's just all around win, right? And then on the contrary, if we have a great idea or a plan and we don't follow through, for whatever reason, it does cause some psychological pain. Again, this is just also relevant to growing skills and confidence as a trader. And even without this being a trading book, I just love it.
Right. We see trading everywhere. Every time I was listening to this book, it was like all of it was my trading journey so far and still to come. Okay, so this next part, it reminded me so much of our It's Always Strategy season saying. Schwartz said, blend persistence with experimentation. Stay with your goal, but don't beat your head against a stone wall. Try new approaches. Experiment. If this isn't just the best advice for when you come up against resistance or a plateau in your trading, stay persistent to your ultimate goal of being a consistently profitable trader, but also experiment in all that middle area. Change something up. Lead from a different time frame in the morning, a different instrument, a different time of day to trade, a new indicator you want to try to see if it correlates, a new mentor for varied style if you are stuck. There's so many ways that you can shake up your journey and so much more always to learn. Instead of staying stuck, I'd much rather sort through a bit of unknown to see what else is out there that can expand my foundation to an even larger and stronger base once I discover it. It's just like this other saying, we can turn setbacks into victories, find the lesson, apply it, and then look back on defeat and smile. Don't let a roadblock or a rough patch hold you back, but use it. Be grateful for the lesson and what it teaches you. It makes me love this saying, like glance back and say thank you to the period of defeat when you are at another major milestone farther ahead. That sounds way more fun. This is so much more powerful. And quite frankly, it's enjoyable to know that when you struggled and you had those teary, heartfelt, wrecked days where you thought you'd never get through and why did I do it? 2 months down the line and you figured out that setup and how you've missed it and you catch yourself every time not doing the same mess up. Like, it's kind of fun to be like, okay, that day sucked. I'm okay. I'm stronger. It's good. It makes sense for me and it makes sense for my journey. And so I know it will resonate with more people. So that's how I'm going to continue to strive on my personal moments of defeat. That still happen, but I'm dealing much better these days.
Right. It's so much better to feel like everything's happening for us, not to us, and we're stronger for it. And it's like, why not choose to feel good about all of this? We work too hard to not feel good about what we're doing. So, I love reframing those losses as lessons. And regarding taking big goals one step at a time or one brick at a time, another quote I have to mention is, let your major goal be your automatic pilot. When you let your goal absorb you, you'll find yourself making the right decisions to reach your goal. Achieve your goal one step at a time. Regard each task you perform, regardless of how small it may seem, as a step towards your goal. So this is the best advice for all things, really, because micro goals really inevitably give way to macro goals. You don't go from A to Z without learning everything in between. So respecting the journey that we're on in all of its entirety, that's the goal. I know for Becky and I, we are married to our major goals, but we're also mindful to not let the future steal from the present. So we're taking the small steps, the baby steps, sometimes clawing our way, crawling through whatever it takes. We're here for all of it. And our efforts, they are compounding. Just like we look back 3 years ago and we can't believe how far we came. The next 3 will be just as amazing because we understand the power that we get from thinking in terms of what can be and not just what is right now.
Yes. Cheers to all the steps along the way to our grandest dreams and aspirations. I know that I purposely want to do my best to stop and smell the flowers along the way. I am nowhere near my ultimate goals. Same with Kendra. But when we do achieve them, honestly, they'll probably have morphed into even larger targets that we'll continue to push towards. So it's never ending. I still make small errors every week considering my ideal journey. But to deny the progress month over month and year over year to this point, it would be a tragedy and flat wrong. So even with the errors, it's still progress. So, fuck that. Like, I'm going to choose to be proud of myself and keep at it every day, no matter the hurdles that I encounter. So that's the moral of this day. Thanks for listening to us today about this awesome book from another century, but highly applicable to this current day. Like, I think of all of the books we recommended, this is the episode with the most quotes in it, like literal direct quotes, because there were so many in this book. It was like, this is so good. This is so good. It all applies to every day in our trading journey. So we definitely recommend this complete book to you guys to read and or consume on Audible, whatever your preference is on that. Audible is our jam, busy moms. So in the description below, we do have links both to the hard copy book or with Audible, because, Amazon and Audible actually welcomed us into their associates program. So we can bring you guys cool offers as we keep going. So thanks, cheers to them for being our sponsor. And if any of you guys have book recommendations for us, please tell us, drop a comment. We love hearing about like recommendations and things that feed you guys because we want to check it out. And we love hearing any comments. So thank you for being here. And our best trading days are ahead. And cheers to bigger victories to come.
Everyone take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.